Cheers folks and welcome to my channel. It's Alliance War number 8 in season number 5, and this time we were meeting an alliance that we've actually already met this season, and that's Team 9. Now according to war rating they're currently number 25 on the ranking, and they are somewhere between Platinum 1, Platinum 2. So before this war they have been Platinum 1, after this war they've been Platinum 2. I think Platinum 1 having one bracket of difference in matchups is actually okay. And also from the previous war, we knew they are very, very strong as an alliance. Now, luckily, I do not take the exact same path that I took last time, so otherwise it would have been just pretty much a copy-paste of the video that I had before. But today I would be on path 1 and 2. And on path 1 and 2, there is a node which is poison. So that is why I had to change my team. And I decided not to go with Hyperion Blade and Ghost Rider for the synergy, but actually to go with Void, Blade and Hyperion, just because on the path 2 in the second section there was a lot of mutant champs. And it's, it's always a bit risky, even though Blade is a very strong champion, still to go in with class disadvantage. So I decided to bring Void to have a better matchup for the mutant champions that were on the path. So as you can see, I'm starting on the left side. And my path in the evening was pretty much what you see right now. It was pretty much a free pass. So there was no champion placed on node number 1. So I was just pretty much using my energy in the evening, and then in the morning waiting for my actual first fight. The good thing is though that then I could pretty much boost for the first actually 3 fights of the day. And I decided, I was not quite sure, okay, should I already go with a plus 30? But then I thought, okay, still, every death counts. It's always the same. Every death counts. So I went in with a plus 30 boost against the first champions of the day. Now the first node, node 19, as you can see, a rank 3 science champion, is very much characterized by critical hits. So there's a 50% chance for critical hits to actually cause power leak. Then you have enhanced crits, 40% critical rate and damage. You have plus 28% critical rate, and then the critical rate and damage is again amplified by 40%, and a rather low attack and health bonus for this champion. So usually you'll find champions that per se have a good critical rate and damage output, so that's just amplified. Not this time. It was an Ant-Man. And an Ant-Man, even if it's duplicate, rank 3, just might take a little bit of time. They anyways bleed immune, so the glancing doesn't do anything against Blade really. And what you just do is you get him to a special 1, because the special 1, as you can see here, very easy to evade, and then you basically just counter. And I didn't even get to my special 2, because then he was already down. So again, a very good warm-up fight for the day. Ant-Man, a rather easy fight on that node, but okay, I'm not complaining. It's a good first fight to start off the path. And then I continued on the left side, moving up to what I said before, the poison node, which on top was a tech champion, so actually that was also partly the reason why I brought Hyperion, also to have class advantage on that fight. As you can see, a 6-star champion, and this node, as I said, is poison, so it inflicts poison, draining 100% of health over 60 seconds if you're not poison immune, enhanced poison capabilities, and the champion boosts 100% attack and 150% attack and health. And on top, and you may not forget about that, is that the attacker's power is drained every 25 seconds. That's something you might overlook sometimes, so you just really have to make sure to remember that you can't use, or that you watch this timer with the 25 seconds, and after that you can't just use your specials. So as you can see, it turned out to be a Dr. Octopus on that node. And, you know, everybody has probably their favorite champs to fight against and their least favorite champs to fight against. Now, I find Dr. Octopus really strange. I find his timing strange. I find his way of moving strange. The only thing that is good about him is his special one, which is easy to evade. I don't like his heavies, but okay. So what I was trying to do is just, you know, first gather and collect a couple of Furies, get him to fire off his special one, but he wouldn't just fire off his special one, so in the end he was almost down, so I decided to just, you know, get him down with a heavy. You could always say, with the amount of Furies that I had, could I also have used special one or another special two? Absolutely, absolutely. It was just that I was really just waiting for him to fire off his special one, because that's the easy one to evade, but as he just wouldn't, I said, okay, just continue heavying him down, and it worked in the end. And then I was continuing with my last remaining energy for that piece of the path to the node number 41, which is a bleed node. So bleed abilities are 40% more effective, and it increases the duration of bleed by 100%. And if you take it together, the champion boosts its plus 175% health and attack. And usually what you would find here is, even though most of the people probably fight this node with an immune champion, still, if you don't fight it with an immune champion, you know, sometimes you would find a mutant here, like a Wolverine X23, just to increase that bloodletting even more. But it was not, it was a Psylocke, and again, I think Psylocke is also rather easy to fight. I personally, again, also against her, prefer her special one. So what you do is, you know, evade and try to provoke her firing off her special one, so she wouldn't. So another way that you can do is just hit the block, and then sometimes the champs are actually firing off their specials. That's what I did here. And then again, with Void, spamming debuffs, so the debuffs also do their share in taking down the health, and actually already here it was done. So Psylocke, again, rather easy on that node, even if it was a rank 4 Psylocke, but still not that difficult, and especially on the bleed aspect of that node, nothing to worry about, because she doesn't actually inflict any bleed. And then I was waiting again until I had 5 energy, full 5 energy, because that would bring me then again directly to the actually next mini boss. And the first, or the next node, is again very much characterized by critical buffs, so enhanced critical rate, enhanced critical damage, and actually 300% health and 200% attack on this node. And what was placed was a skill champion, and you often find skill champions here just because they have a very high critical ability. And in this case, it was a rank 5 skill champion. So as it was a rank 5 champion, and as I was facing then the next coming champions up to the mini boss, I decided to, as what we call rainbow boost, green, yellow, red, as well as you know, taking him with Blade, because from the profile of my opponent I saw that the rank 5 skill champion has to be a Thor Ragnarok. And unless you have a power control, a real power control champ, I would always go in with the champion that does the highest damage output. And in that case, for me, that was Blade, because Void would have had class disadvantage. And Thor Ragnarok, you just have to know basically one thing when you fight Thor Ragnarok, and that is that after he gets 20 of those power charges, and he gains a power charge every time you hit him, after gaining 20 of those power charges, he starts gaining power up until his special 3, unless you are finalizing a special attack in between. And it's important because the power gain does not stop with the first hit of your special. The power gain stops with the last hit of your special. So my advice for this is try to have him fire off his specials basically close to when he's having those 20 charges. Make sure that he has as little power as possible when he has close to those 20 charges. And then it doesn't matter how long actually it takes for the special to, from beginning to the end, fire off. Because as you can see here, even if for the time of the special he gains a certain amount of power, then he will still not have in the end more than maximum 2 bars of power. He will not be able to get to the 3 bars of power, and that's what you want to avoid. You just want to avoid that he gets those 3 bars of power and that he gets to fire off his special 3. That's the only really risk that you have in that fight. Special 1 and 2 easy to evade. And yes, know your specials, know how long your specials are, to make sure that you really can end your special when he has his power gain phase. And one thing I forgot to mention is don't intercept Thor Ragnarok's attacks, just parry stun him, because when you intercept him, you have there is the risk that you be auto blocked. Now on the next node, you see a plus 300% health, plus 200% attack, and that node is very much characterized by special 1. It starts with 1 bar of power, and it has enhanced special 1, and also again enhanced critical abilities. So usually a mutant on that node would be Iceman or Emma Frost, so champions that have difficult to evade special 1 and also have or do a lot of critical damage. So that's why in the end I took an invulnerability boost, just to make sure to be prepared in case I can't evade a special 1 for whatever reason, so that I can get hit without actually taking any damage. And in the end it turned out to actually be Iceman, and the other boost I could have taken would be a health recovery boost, because what happens always in the beginning because of Cold Snap is you lose a lot of health. In this case, around 16% of my health gone, just because of that. But then the rest of the fight, what you do is you, or I basically hit him just below that 1 bar of power, and then try to provoke him to trigger that special 1, because that's what the node is about, and that's what usually you see, that they're firing off their special 1s, and you evade, and then you just counter again. But he wouldn't fire off his special 1, so I was, rinse and repeat just below that 1 bar of power. Then actually here now trying to provoke him after I fire off my special. That's when they often fire off their special 1. But still, again, he wouldn't, which again made me actually bring him above his 2 bars of power. Because actually I personally think that the special 2 of Iceman is rather easy to evade. So I actually managed in that fight to get him 3 times to his special 2, not fire off his special 1 at all. So I've actually never seen that happen on that node, that the opponent is not firing off a single special 1. But it was good for me, and in the end got him down rather easily. The only damage I took was basically from the Cold Snap in the very beginning. After that, basically just evade his heavies and trigger him to his special 2. Now the next fight, because I still had my invulnerability boost on, I actually pre-recorded the node of the next champion, and it's the mini boss, so always has 200% attack and 500% extra health. And it's another node that is a special 1 node, so enhanced special 1, that is also unblockable, and this opponent is stun immune. And it was clear it's an Archangel, and as always for a mini boss you heal up, and as you can see I was also still fully boosted with my invulnerability boost on, so I decided to go into that fight rather quickly, which is why I pre-recorded that node a bit early on. Now Archangel, as you know, Void is not an immune champion. So he can bleed and he can suffer from poison, and that is the biggest risk when you're fighting an Archangel, especially a stun immune one, that you get hit by him and that he inflicts bleed, and then it's really difficult, because that takes a lot of your health. Plus your invulnerability boost wouldn't really work against the bleed. So still, even though I had my invulnerability boost on, the one thing you do when you fight Archangel on that node is you don't get hit. Play it safe. Now, The good thing about his special one, it consists of 3 parts, and when it says unblockable, actually only the first punch is unblockable. The shots that he fires off afterwards are all blockable. Now, there is a risky way of evading his special one, that is evading his first punch, then letting the first shot hit your block and evading again the second shot, and then you can directly counterattack him, as I did just now. But the thing is that if you are a millisecond too late on that one, he will parry stun you, and then he will just freely hit you, and the risk that then you get hit with a critical hit that also inflicts bleed is just too high. So my recommendation, play it really, really safe, which means let him hit your block, wait until he fires off his heavy. After a heavy, attack him. When you have, with Void, again, special 1, just spam the special 1. And the good thing, again, his special 1, only the first punch is unblockable. The rest you can block. And then try to really play it safe. The only thing you need to watch out for on this node is not to get hit. That's my recommendation. Rather be safe than sorry. And with that, I had already cleared my path. I was quite happy because, again, it was a new path, it was new nodes, it was new champions I fought against, a new mini-boss I fought against. So I really, really hope that this was, again, useful for you, that you got new information, new insights that you can use for your paths in the future. And a little heads up, as usual, we won this war, so this is streak number 8. Which is fantastic, still unbeaten in the season, and we hope that this continues until end of the season, of course. And with that, I'm at the end, and I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to give it a like. If you are new to the channel and would like to see more war videos like this in the future, please hit the subscribe button, and I hope to see you very, very soon on my channel. Cheers, folks.